What is the title of this little information goodie that I'm going to provide here? So they're throwing a fit. Yeah, they are throwing a fit. Can you tell? You know, they're not going to go down without a fight. So they're throwing everything at us, ain't they? So, you know, they lost this war. I made some notes to myself the other day. In fact, that's what I wrote here. They're throwing a fit because they lost the war. And what were they warring against? Their war is against energy service providers. Okay? That means that's a war against the goddess in this planet. Okay? That means that's a war against me. That's a war against everybody living in spirit. What love is. That's the nature of this war. That's what a spiritual war is. They represent the dead. The walking dead. That's why they got to use technology. Okay? Because they can't naturally generate any love, which means they can't generate any source-derived love, in which they keep attracting more light to go faster. They don't do that. They don't know how to do that. So what do? They got to fuck with nature. They got to fuck with the girl on the planet. That's why it's called self-indulgence and perversion of nature. That's what a pervert is. That's what a pedophile is. That's what a demon is. Okay? They don't know how to live in peace, harmony, and balance with the natural order of the cosmos. They don't know how to do that. So it was obvious to me as a child, when I looked at all their scientific manuals, that the knowledge that they do acquire to use science and technology is used to do what? Wage war against the cosmos. Because the only way, since they can't do it through the natural order of the cosmos, is to try and control more of it. So they don't have an off switch. So how about if we just go back in time before they became and get rid of the demon seed? So the demon seed never thrives, never reproduces itself, ever. So that you never experience a demon or something feeding on your light. Now imagine something like that. So there's a natural order in which a soul can keep attracting more light to be more powerful in spirit, upon which they become an energy service provider. And as Patty said one time, you get a classroom of your own. This is a beautiful biosphere classroom. I could spend forever here just exploring every centimeter of the energy that's here that's so beautiful to experience. So I thought what I'd get into here just in a short way is intelligence agencies. Because intelligence is information. So imagine that I got the most powerful intelligence agency and I got better artificial intelligence than you do. Which means I can run more data through my computers, my processor, than you can. Okay? That means that if I can read your mail, it means I know what you're doing before you do. If I can predict what you're going to do next. That means my chess move is ahead of yours. I'm already there to make sure that whatever you were planning on doing, you're not going to be able to win. You're never going to be able to win. Because you can't outrace me in time. That's why the light in what love is in living spirit is the power of the cosmos that prevents predators and those that work in intelligence agencies who use intelligence or data collection as the means of power, just like money is used as a form of power. Because once somebody has, wow, look what I have in front of me. I got a video here of somebody making love to another woman, okay? Or doing something with a donkey. Man, now if I put this up on national TV, that politician's history. He's in our back pocket. As a matter of fact, since we run all the data through our computers, and we know everything that you're doing by data mining you, we know where you're at, what you're doing, what you're thinking, what you're feeling, everything. And we're going to use all that information against you someday unless you comply with exactly what the fuck we say you got to comply with. Because we're in control. You know why that is? Because we live in fear of you. We live in fear of what we can't control. So we got to control everything. Because if I perceive anything that is allowed to live on its own, to be able to do whatever it wants to do, and I can't control that, then I'm going to live in fear of what it is I can't control. That's a predator. That's a virus. That's a mind virus in a computer. That'll corrupt all the data. The same way it corrupts all the data that runs through in a biochip. That's why it corrupts all the DNA. That's called unlawful conversion. It wants to convert everybody into something it can control. Because that's what it is. It's a control freak. It's intelligent. That's it. Artificial intelligence. So how does the universe protect itself against something like that? By having so much light, it can't capture all of it. So that means we can go back in time, can't we, to the source from which everything comes. Now you begin to realize what timeline wars are all about. So anytime you go back in time, you're going to change the event sequence on that particular timeline. So you have to be careful of how you insert information or data into a timeline-driven data processing information system so that it doesn't upset all the other links that are linked to every unit of consciousness that is linked to timeline 0. And then you have all of the other timelines that represent, if you will, timelines in which psychic energy or the energy of the unit of consciousness is experiencing what it is based on the waveform communication of the energy that it is aware of, which is itself. So what is the frequency of the energy that that unit of consciousness is using to experience what it is in the light? Well, we have to measure that. That's what it means to measure all of the frequencies that are time vectored in all the timelines. That's an enormous amount of data that has to get processed. And then how we're going to rearrange the deck chairs so that we have everything back on timeline 0. As a result of what? The first predator that was allowed to reproduce itself in such exponential numbers, in which now it's eating away at the light at a rate of speed at which it requires an enormous amount of light in order to do what? Change the density. The density of the consciousness that is trying to control everything that is in that light. Welcome to your intelligence agencies. Why do you think that they went after all of the energy physicists? I can't remember the lady's name, but she had herself on video. Catherine, I can't remember her last name. She was wearing a tinfoil hat. She had all the aluminum around her because she was under heavy-duty attack. I had a demonic attack 3 days ago. My energy was down. My shield was down. But I'm in a very low frequency density place to begin with, which is Reno, Nevada. I mean, all you got to do is walk the streets around here, and you realize that most of the people that are here live in a state of fear or low frequency density consciousness. And that was by design. That's the whole mask ideal. Keep you in a state of fear. Keep everybody in a state of fear. Now when you're in a state of fear, you're going to obey the master. So when the master says move, you jump. Because what is it you're in fear of? Getting abused again by the same abuser. So that's why President Trump said we're draining the swamp. Well, what is the speed at which the swamp is being drained so nobody has to suffer anymore on this planet? That has to be done very incrementally so we're not rocking the boat too hard, which means the speed at which the changes are taking place, which means the information is being shared as data, if you will, which is data exchange, which is energy exchange between all the units of consciousness that are beginning to wake up and go, wow, man, I just woke up out of that bad dream. The energy's feeling good everywhere I go now. Well, there's a lot of light in here. Okay? That's the good news. So, in a very real way, intelligence, which is information, which is data, is used just the same way that money is. Control behavior. Okay? See, they don't even realize, like, for me, I had to experience everything I was in here. I went down the porno tube game. If you really want to understand how all the energy works as a result of what they present to us, the best way to know how they do it is to experience it. So I was willing to put my feet into some waters, and I went, okay, I got to feel their magnet, okay? But I'm not going to allow you to control me, so I just go on. That's why this phone the other day, when it went down, I lost it. I just forgot about it. I forgot about everything, okay? I realized that I'm moving closer and closer and closer between past, present, and future. Just like, fuck, just throw all your shit away. Just hang out on some beach somewhere and just go. Just like 2 years ago when I was at a place called La Poe Point, which is a great healing place, by the way, on the north side of the island of Hawaii. That's where they had a tsunami there. I think it was 46 or 47. As a result of a nuclear blast, naturally, okay, up in the Aleutians, that killed, what was it, 26 children and teenagers and adults. They had a schoolhouse there. I felt their suffering one day and had to go out there and take my shoes off and ground myself to her and clear as much of that as I could by spreading as deep as much love as I possibly could. I cried for 30 minutes when I experienced that. What they experienced. It was horrible. We're not supposed to be experiencing that. So you got to change the equation. That's what it is. You're changing the mathematical equation. Bringing greater harmony and balance back to the way that the energy is in harmony with itself. So that everybody's free to be who they are. You know, which is getting out of a fear-based notion that you have a reason to fear anything. Fear is insanity. Because fear did not create the cosmos. Fear did not create you. Unless you were created by a fear-based being. So anyway, I wanted to cover a little bit about the intelligence agencies. Intelligence is no different than information, which means if I got all the information, I got all the information on you, okay, then I can use that against you. I can make a clone out of you. But you can't clone a spirit. Okay? Living spirit. The etheric form. So how much light are you burning? How hot is that light? How much wood are you putting in that furnace to burn the hottest plasma? Because you have so much love in this universe to give, which is in all that light that burns forever. So that's what I always ask me. How am I doing today? How's my energy today? Okay? I got to keep this unit going. Okay? It's been good to me. I thank her every day for the vehicle and the communication platform that she gave me to have so much fun down here and to be able to share what that energy represents to everybody that's here. Because it's the energy that you're experiencing that you fall in love with, which is yourself, because it's the energy that you love. That's what love is. It's the energy that you love because you are that energy. So that's why it's so easy for us to give away the electrons, okay? So here, you want all my electrons? Here, take as much as you want because that allows me to go faster and I get more of them. That's the genius of the cosmos. You're experiencing the genius of the cosmos. What it means to be burning so fast. You know, and when children can experience that and feel that in you, man, now they have a frame of reference and a mirror. They're experiencing who they are, and they're experiencing the energy that you are, and you're in waveform harmony with each other. Yeah, let's go create another universe together. So as a teacher, one of the things that I do in a classroom is provide every creative means possible that allows them to look at all the different ways in which they can imagine that they can create things with their energy, with their imagination. And once they have experienced the magic of experiencing that much love, that much light, with that much fire, and being able to create and imagine what that is, they're off and running. Okay? They'll be a lot like how I do it, which is to keep attracting more light without even thinking about it, which means it takes care of itself. And when you're not having to worry about what you're thinking about, which is how it works, because you already know how it works, which means it just works by itself. It's like autopilot. So like an empath is like autopilot, auto-restoration, okay? You're like a power station that's automatically moving through the universe, so wherever the light has been lost, you're automatically, without even thinking about it, restoring it. That's the beauty of the cosmos. That's the intelligence, the creative intelligence of the cosmos. That's why I love to be with the goddess. You know? So anyway, I'll leave you that for the day. I got to go charge the phone. I hope you all have a happy and beautiful day with your children and your family. The only thing that I would hope is that you're all beginning to start realizing how this all works. That the mind was simply held captive to a program that doesn't serve us, certainly doesn't serve me, doesn't serve you, doesn't serve anything. Because it's meant to drain everybody's battery, and that doesn't serve nobody. We were basically in an energy harvesting system. They were feeding on our energy and using it as a source of energy. Patty calls them pirates, I call them vampires. Vampires, you know. Stealing our energy. Because they can't generate any of their own. And that's unfortunate. The Walking Dead. So anyway, have a beautiful day. I love you all. Aloha.